Have you ever wondered what happens after ever after? Have you always yearned to know if the end is really the end? No? Well, you're gonna find out anyway. We're your hosts, Andi, Tami, and Gina. This is Two Division.
Hello everyone, welcome once again to Television Disney Sequels Explained. I'm your host Gina, and as always, I'm back again with my two beautiful co-hosts, Andy and Tammy. Hi guys, how are you?
Hey guys, it's late at night and we are ready to party.
No, I'm
Yeah.
ready to sleep. I ate ice cream specifically to give me a sugar rush for these 2 hours.
A
Or
move.
an hour
I'm
and a
ready to
half.
sleep too. Like you guys don't get it. I'm just finishing a recording of another podcast that I have, and we just talked about the Joker movie for 2 hours, literally 2 hours.
That sounds so exhausting.
It was like obviously I wasn't talking the whole 2 hours, but it was really exhausting, and I feel my throat hurting a little bit. So yeah, that's the mood for today. But we're fine. It's fine. We're here
Everything's
without
fine. We're
Shadow.
fine.
Yeah,
Everything is
and
fine, we're fine.
yeah, and as you can hear, our favorite guest is back. Hi,
I'm
Anna.
your
How are
hi.
you? This is such a
I'm
surprise.
your I'm your favorite guest. That is like so sweet. I'm back with my Bali accent because I have to start this episode with it.
Yeah,
It's
To give
tradition
you
at this point.
confidence.
Yeah.
It's tradition, yeah.
Valley
It's
accent and Stitch and love for Stitch. That's Anna. That's it.
That's
yeah,
your
it's me.
brand.
That's your
It
brand.
gives me like white privilege when I speak that. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, you just say white privilege.
Yes, I got political on this podcast because it's late and I just say dumb stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm
I'm just
fine. How are you guys?
we're great. I was just listening back to our previous Stitch episode, and like I can't believe that we even finished recording that episode because we sound absolutely insane during the whole
Yeah,
of
I
it.
never shut up.
No, it's not just because of you. Like, all of us were just like, it's hilarious.
I mean,
So
it was a weird movie. Like, let's be honest, it
so
makes no
was.
sense.
It
So
really
I
was.
guess we had to fill in the blanks.
I'm really, really glad you're back, and I'm glad Tammy's back because she was absent last week. So, Tammy, you are doing nice. How are you? We've
Yeah,
haven't.
I'm doing good. I'm tired. Tuesdays always seem to be the roughest days of the week. But it's
Hmm.
okay because Wednesday is a short day. I teach, so I we have a dance class on Tuesday, so I think it gets the students all riled up for the rest
Oh
of the
damn.
day. So they're great, but it's tiring. Tuesdays.
I feel that. Okay, so I'm glad I have all of you beautiful ladies here. I'm glad it's the four of us. I'm really happy that we all get together and talk about Stitch because what else would you want to be doing on a Tuesday night at almost 11 p.m.? Of course.
Nothing. Like,
Nothing.
all my Tuesdays are
This
always
is
so sad.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn, that got dark. Uh,
I'm so sorry. Existential depression.
Yay.
yay.
oh god, that yay was so accurate. Like yay,
And it was
yay.
like so synchronized. Like,
You're
Yeah.
tired.
we
You're
don't
tired.
practice, but it just came from our hearts.
Tammy is a concerned friend.
Are you?
That's
Yes.
because I'm in a semi okay place for now. I can be
Uh,
the
Oh, that's so
okay
nice.
one.
okay.
I love that for you.
All right.
Okay.
So, so let's just get going with the show. So, if you heard our last episode, we talked about Lilo and Stitch, or like we talked about Stitch the movie, and that was the first of the Lilo and Stitch sequels, and this is the second. We are continuing our Stitchapalooza, and we usually start the episode by sharing our memories and thoughts of the original movie. But since Anna, Andy, and I already did in the previous episode, we won't bore you talking about it again and repeating ourselves. So we are just gonna let Tammy share with us her thoughts on Lilo and Stitch, the original movie, and I'm really excited to hear about them because Tammy, out of all of us, is the only one who's actually been to Hawaii. So I think you
Oh
should
my
get.
god, that is so cool.
Yeah, I lived there for a year actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Perspective is
so
going to be
cool.
very interesting, and I'm really excited to hear it, and I'm really glad that you're back to tell us about it. So Tammy, I'll leave the mic to you.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is like it's near and dear to my heart. I was kind of sad that I didn't get to talk about it in the last one, but I'm really glad that we have this other sequel. Despite
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I can
They
talk
made it
about
just
it.
for this. They made it just for you.
They did. And it's like this movie means a lot to me because when I was growing up, I think we watched it in theaters like right when it came out, and I don't really remember this too well, but when we finished watching it, my mom immediately said that I'm Lilo and my brother is Stitch, like based on the way we fight
Aw.
and like bicker, but that we still love each other. So Lilo and Stitch is like really just stayed true to my heart because of that connection. I watched it all the time. The soundtrack was just something that I listened to every single time. Like I probably still know the Hawaiian part to Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
I remember specifically like trying to memorize that part of the song. Like I remember where I was. I was in Indonesia for a tennis tournament, and I was like right outside a mall after dinner waiting for a taxi, and I was specifically trying. I had the lyrics on my phone, and I was like, okay, I need to get every single line. It was training me for Hamilton.
The dedication.
I
That was
was
adorable.
dedicated. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like I wasn't born or raised in Hawaii. I lived there for a year, but I go back every Christmas, and I don't know, it's just something about that music. I think it's also because I listened to it growing up, but like just listening to that music, it just like Hawaiian style music, it just makes me feel at home. I guess because my dad also plays it every Christmas or whenever we're together, he plays Hawaiian music and ukuleles, and it just makes me smile. But yeah, and
This is so wholesome.
I don't know. I love Lilo and Stitch. I mean, I don't know. I just it's just such a great movie. Like I don't think I realized how great it was until like Frozen came out, and
Oh.
everyone is saying like no, because like everyone is saying not to throw shade at Frozen because that's a great movie, but like everyone is saying like this is the best sister relationship ever, and I'm like, are you sure though?
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
sure though?
Nani and
I
Lilo
mean,
though.
I actually wrote
let's
that
take it. What?
on my. I actually wrote that on my notes. I was like, the sibling relationship in these movies, top tier. Nothing can
Yeah,
top
it's
this.
amazing, and the fact that they dealt with like the concept of death in a
Oh
family,
yeah.
like in this film, like it's so delicately and so wonderfully handled. Like they're not overt about it. It's very subtle. It's very graceful. It's just it's so beautiful. You don't even notice it until you really look into it. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
one of those movies
definitely.
that just not happens, but you're just sucked into the world, and you don't really see how well written or deep it is until you really just stop and think.
Yeah, I think it's subtle enough that children catch on, like they understand what's going on, but for the parents and the adults, they get it and they
Yeah,
understand the implications of everything that they've gone through.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's
also, it's like super realistically presented. Like with Lilo, like she's a child and she's dealing with this, and sometimes she gets really angry about it.
yeah,
And it's not like they never shame her for it. It's just like they let her feel it. Because
yeah,
it's true. Like I have a cousin who lost her mom, and sometimes she just gets angry about it, and it's like, oh my god, that's so sad. But the movie does it, and they like present it as natural because it is. So wow.
yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, top tier.
Yeah, but that's another thing that you just touched on. Like, I just love Lilo so much because, like, I just related to how she owned her weirdness. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
like
The
she
movie
was
lets
just.
her be so weird.
I love it. I love it. There's like, I love the TV show because I don't know. There was this Christmas episode where she was like trying to find Nani's Christmas presents, and she was tiptoeing, and she said to Stitch or something like, I don't like ballerinas, but I appreciate their stealth tactics.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Or something like that. Something to that extent. It had to do with ballerinas, and she was tiptoeing, and she was relating it to stealth. I don't know if that was the quote, but that should be the quote.
No, I
Disney,
think that
hire
was
me
the
now to
quote.
write for you.
But yeah, she does like throwaway comments. They're just like so serious. She said something in this movie that I wrote down that I was like, oh my god, that's so funny. Oh, Dead by Molten Lava. She was like, that's like my, when she's discussing her dance, and she's like, this has it all. It has friendship, love, Dead by Molten Lava, something else. And I was like, Dead by Molten Lava.
Yeah, great.
She was like, that's it. That's the selling point for me. If it doesn't have Dead by Molten Lava, then what's the point?
But yeah. Also, David Coena is the best Disney prince out there.
Him and
is.
Patra,
Just putting that out there. He's the best. Please let me
Yeah, he
find
and Patra.
David Coena. I love him so much. Coena. I don't know. I don't know. Hawaiians kind of pronounce the W as a V. Like EWA is Eva. So I don't know if it's David Coena or Coena. I don't know how to pronounce it. But he's the best, and I love him, and he needs to be real.
Oh, I know. He's like, it's just he listens. That's so sexy of him.
That's it. He listens, and he respects women.
He drinks respect women just every morning, with a side of especially Nanny because she's going through stuff.
And he doesn't mind being a friend. Like he's okay with just being he wants to be a boyfriend, but he's cool with being your friend if that's not what you want because he just likes you for you and not what
he just wants you to be happy. He just wants you to be happy and loved and respected, and it's like, wow, get me a freak like that.
That's my kink.
Gina, we talked about this. Like the crunk episode was enough.
I'm kidding.
Stop
I mean, the crunk episode wasn't a joke. On the crunk episode, I was being completely honest, but here I am kidding. Okay, so Tami, anything else that you want to add about Lilo and Stitch?
I love how their backgrounds are like the paintings that they sell in Hawaii. Because we have one in our house and the backgrounds look exactly the same.
Ooh.
I do appreciate that animation. I think it's a little bit more simplistic than other animated movies, but I think it's on purpose. I think it is meant to look like that.
Yeah, it's like it's beautiful.
With what you just said, that it's meant to emulate the paintings that they sell in Hawaii. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, the backgrounds are beautiful.
Like I can send you some like photos.
Yay!
Later. Nice. They look exactly like they look like they could be the backgrounds.
Oh my god, they're so nice. Every time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, what's happening? I'm just looking at the trees. I get so distracted.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, I think, and just to recap what we talked about like last episode, I think all three of us agree that Lilo Stitch was a really great movie, and it really meant a lot to us as kids because it came out in a time that we were actually kids, and this was the movie that was coming out, and we related to it, and we related to Lilo and everything. And so just in general, I think we all agree that it is a very well done movie, and it's a very human movie, even though it is about an alien. It really is about humanity and sisterhood and friendship, and it's really nice. Like I think it was one of those first Disney movies in this experimental era that wasn't about romantic love, and that really it's a bit of a fresh air, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think the main point was family, which was so nice. Like found family and blood-related family.
And that's like a recurring theme in this experimental era, like all the way back with Dinosaur. Dinosaur wasn't really about the relationship between the romantic leads. It was more about the pack. And then Emperor's New Groove was about the friendship between Cusco and Pacha, and then this Lilo and Stitch was about Lilo and Stitch, obviously. And Atlantis had it did have romantic love, but it was more about the friendship between the crew, and Treasure Planet was about this relationship between what was his name, Silver and Jim, and it was more like a paternal relationship. And so that's a common theme in this experimental era. Like they try to step away from romance stories, and they start digging into another kind of love. Also, Brother Bear like
Brother
it's
Oh my
Bear.
god, Brother Bear.
title. It's
We're
like
doing that
Cry
soon.
every time.
yeah.
We're doing
Such a
that
good
soon,
show.
right?
Yeah.
I was watching it on a road trip one time, like going back home, like at 9 p.m. It was dark. The only light you can see was from my computer, and by the end, I was literally in tears. And I turn around, I look next to me, and my cousin, who's like 13, is just looking at me like I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, honestly, when we get to Brother Bear, I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out when I watch that movie. I think because yeah, it hits
Oh,
pretty
I
hard.
remember the second one made me mad.
Me too. I only ever watched it once because I couldn't
I
stand
only
it. And
ever
yeah,
watched it once. Yeah, I don't even remember a lot about the plot, but I just remember how angry it was.
me too. Bitch, me too. The fuck.
Like, uh, because I was expecting more about
Exactly. I was
what's his
expecting
name and the kid.
Kenai. Coda.
We're going to talk about that movie later.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
so
I
sorry.
know, I know.
Yeah, we got
Just,
distracted.
just know that it
Okay,
made me mad.
where were we?
That Lilo Stitch was a really
Uh,
good movie, and
yeah.
that it came out in a time where um they were trying to shine a light on different kinds of love that wasn't romantic love, and it was very appreciated. It was a very well done movie, and that leads us to this second sequel that is not really a sequel to the sequel because it only happened somewhere between the first one and the last
Yeah, the timeline is messy.
because no one talks about the other experiments and it's like nothing ever happened. So yeah. So of course we're talking about Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch. That like first of all, awesome title. And I love the IMDb synopsis. It just says a malfunction threatens to destroy Stitch and his friendship with Lilo. Exclamation point. And that's the end. That's the end of the synopsis. I'm like, yeah, thank you, IMDb.
I
Honestly,
think
it's like if
We're
you
gonna
want to know, just watch the movie. Like we're not gonna tell you. Go watch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was direct to video, I think. If
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not wrong, it was direct to video, and it came out in 2005. So, what are our thoughts on that movie, on Lilo and Stitch 2? Let's go around and let's start with Tammy because she started it. Tammy,
Okay, yeah. So I've got mixed feelings about this. Okay, so first, let me start with the
Memories.
good. I feel like me, I feel
Wait,
like that.
wait.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that we need to do the memories first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean it goes. I think it goes together
Okay.
Oh
for
okay.
the second part. You go.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that the people who made this film really loved Lilo and Stitch. I feel like that they wanted to include a lot of the things that made that movie great. Like I loved the way they incorporated a lot of Hawaiian music and and the Hawaiian mythology. Like there's one sentence on the Wikipedia, it says like this movie was based on the story or the legend that Lilo dances to, and I really love that incorporation because like I was trying to look up Hawaiian mythology, and it's a very hard thing to look into, and I just love how they give exposure to this goddess and her relationship with this I think mortal man and the fire
Yeah.
goddess Pele. Like I just love that how they incorporated that in there, and also like putting Elvis in there. All the Elvis music made me smile, and I loved how they kept Lilo's weirdness, and they even like made her relation to Stitch. Like they really showed that they're a family. Like they love each other, but they bicker and fight. But they've got each other's backs. Like how he holds her earrings while she's about to beat down on Myrtle. That's like literally my favorite scene. And like I really think that they are even just like the sense of family. Like it's there with everyone, not just Lilo and Stitch, but with Nani, David, Jumba, and Pleakley. You can really like to me. I could tell that they were really close. Like I felt like a lot of elements that made Lilo and Stitch really great were there, but the writing. Then just it's an hour. Okay, it's an hour and it's a Disney sequel.
Oh my God,
Disney
Tammy, just
Yeah.
quote John Mulaney. It's an hour.
Oh my god, John Mulaney references. I love it.
Weird John Mulaney references first and people second.
That's the new trend for this. Instead of Star Wars references, John Mulaney references. I'm
Yeah.
done.
We've
But
evolved.
yeah. I just felt like the writing. Oh my god, it was so bad.
Did you like? Have you watched? Had you watched it before?
I think I
Before
did,
the
but when I was very
podcast?
little, I like what? But do you mean did I watch this movie before the podcast?
Like before, like
Yeah. No, I think I
yeah.
watched it before, like when I was 10 or something, or when it was on Disney Channel. I don't remember rewatching it, probably for this reason. Not that I was like I knew about writing when I was 10. I was probably just like, oh, that doesn't interest me anymore. But like I mean, I don't know. Should I go into that later?
Yeah,
Mm,
probably. Just
Yeah,
just
but
wanted
I
to know like if you liked it back then.
see it's mixed. Oh shoot, sorry, I totally went off track.
No. It's fine. You were totally fine. I was just trying to bring it back.
Yeah, but yeah, I mixed
Bring
feelings,
it back,
and I don't
bring it
remember
back.
much when I was like little. It did not. I
It
remember.
did leave an impact.
I think I cried at the end. Like when Anna mentioned crying, I was like, that sounds vaguely familiar. It didn't happen recently, but I feel like in the distant past it did. I vaguely remember crying.
I
Okay.
told Andy I have like a traumatic story about it, which is not really traumatic, but I mentioned in the first episode that I used to put my Stitch plushes
Oh my god,
like
yeah.
to watch movies. And I told Andy that I remember in this one I got really excited, so I lined them up in my bed, and then he died. So I was like, "Oh my god, cover your eyes, children!" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm never letting my plushies watch another Stitch film if he's gonna die."
Oh no.
So
Oh
yeah, I
my
had
god.
that memory. So I
Stitch
actually
was the
think I also
first.
did cry.
Stitch was the first like superhero character in Disney history to die and then be reborn again.
Marvel just
OG.
keeps ripping off Stitch.
I can't believe Marvel stole from Stitch. Has a glitch.
I was gonna say that
Rip
Stitch.
to Loki, but Stitch is different.
Oh my god. I
Don't
was gonna
say
say
that.
that Stitch is Disney's Jesus figure, and then he's
God.
resurrected. So related to that's related to Anakin. Never mind. Ignore me.
Oh my god.
He
Okay, they can
Lazarus
share.
himself.
They can share.
There's your Star
Okay.
Wars reference for today.
Thank you, Tammy. Wow, coming from you. Nice.
That was quick. Yeah.
I thought about this yesterday.
Oh my god.
I have thoughts.
Anna, do you have any more memories about this one?
Me?
I do
Oh, no.
think I watched it. No, me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
Or
good.
Tami. Yeah, okay. We don't know our names apparently. I do remember watching it more than once. But I think I never actually lined up my Stitch plushes to watch it with me again.
No,
I was
that
like,
was too dramatic.
yeah, I was like, once enough. I don't want them considering the possibility of their death until they're
Oh my
older.
god.
Or I'm older. I don't know what was I thinking. But I do remember loving it a lot. I guess because it's more Stitch content and it wasn't like, I don't know. I just felt like it was coming back home because I
Yeah.
really like resonate with the idea of found family. I guess because I wasn't really close with mine, so it was like looking at the family I had found earlier on, and they were back, and they were like so cute and close, and you can feel like they loved each other really much. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy for this movie. It makes me feel.
Oh my god.
I'm allowed one feeling for a year, and this movie just went. It's mine. That feeling you get to have, it's mine. And I was like, okay, thank you. It's
Good.
cathartic.
You were saying that this movie is like more Stitch content, and like you're definitely right because I'm looking like at the cover of the movie, and it's like a Stitch front and center, and then it's just like Lilo way in the back, like hey, I'm here too. But Stitch is like just up there, like hi, this is my movie now.
This is my time. I get
Yeah,
to shine.
yeah.
Move up. Move back. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andy, memories, thoughts,
Uh,
emotions.
mem- memories, I watched it on TV and that's it. That's my memory. And
Damn.
thoughts, yeah, didn't leave an impact. Thoughts, I think that um, I feel like this was like an extended TV episode, you know? I mean, I think that the story was good, and it's like I get it why it's a movie, but at the same time, it's like the stakes are I don't know, like he does die, but they're not like big enough because I know that
Like,
he's not going to die.
like
He
there's a
died, but it's
thing.
not enough.
Like there's a thing, but not
Like,
really.
I mean, I'm
But
sorry
not
he
really.
died, but like, it's not that interesting.
It's not that interesting. Also, can I just say that actually, I think that is because of that scene that we've been just spoiling throughout this episode. That this movie is actually the first and only, not the first Disney Toon movie in the only direct-to-video sequel from Disney that has a PG rating.
Oh my
And
god, yes.
like, okay, I guess. And also, another fun fact, because apparently I don't have a lot to say about this movie, is that the voice of Lilo in this movie is none other than Dakota Fanning.
I know.
Where
It threw
I
me
was
off.
shocked. I was super shocked.
Like
Like,
apparently her and the original voice of Lilo, like they're best friends, and so the original voice of Lilo, I forget her name right now, but she was like
So
busy
they changed.
recording for
series.
the animated show, and she was like, "Oh, let's just get Dakota. She can do it," and that's why they got Dakota because she was friends with her.
They stay so weird that you're busy
Yeah.
playing a character to play that character.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
Commissioning the
so dumb.
character.
Yeah. I didn't know she was like, I didn't notice actually because I don't think I've ever watched the first film in English.
me neither. Me
Me
neither. So
neither.
I had no idea.
Tami,
I noticed.
I've
It
never
threw me
not
off.
watched it in English.
It threw me off when
Uh,
I was 11.
Oh no!
I was like, "Who's this? It's not Lilo."
who
Oh
the
my
Oh my
god!
fuck
god.
are
Well,
you?
because she was in the TV show, right? So I'm guessing like you heard it in the first movie and then the entire TV show, and then it was like,
Yep.
"Who are you? You're not my
Exactly.
Lilo."
No, I
Yeah.
knew I
Hashtag
was
not my
like this at
president.
11. I was like, "Oh my god."
I'm sorry.
This gets political again.
The gang gets political at night.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, to wrap it up, my thoughts, I think it's just, yeah, it's a movie.
Is
I
it though?
love that that's your review to everything you watched this week.
Yeah.
Including the Joker.
Yeah, you went to watch the Joker, and I was like, "Oh, how was it?" Because I don't know if I want to watch it, and you were just like, "Well, it's a movie," and I was like, "Thank you for that input."
I did
That's
have
made up my
thoughts
That's
mind.
about
Yeah.
Andy's favorite kind of review. Like it's a movie.
It's like she doesn't want to take a side, so she's like, "It's a
Yeah.
movie," and that's all I'm gonna say on that. You can make your own thoughts.
Yeah.
I want to be excluded from this narrative.
Yes.
Do not contact me.
Okay, for me, I think I do remember watching it when it came out. I don't know if I watched it on TV or if I rented it. I don't know how I got my hands on it, but I did watch it and I did cry, honestly. Like I remember this movie hitting hard on me when Stitch was on the verge of like dying, because I remember like just being very sad because it wasn't his fault that he was doing the things that he did, and like I feel
Yeah.
like he didn't get the chance to like before dying he didn't get a chance to be
Oh
like
no.
at peace with his
Oh
family.
my
No.
Oh
So,
my
Yeah,
god.
no.
so my thoughts were like, okay, he died and he had no idea that Lilo wasn't mad at him,
She didn't know.
Oh my
and
god,
and
that is
and
so
just
much worse.
and Lilo was just there like holding his little dead body, like
She didn't know.
being unable to do anything, and like I was
Thanks.
I
I
was
hate it.
traumatized by that. Like I think it really hit a hard on me. Like I've said before in the podcast that there's some scenes in these movies that I'm not able to watch, and when I was like a child, what I would do is just like turn away from the TV, close my eyes, and cover my ears, just try to wait a couple seconds, a couple minutes, so I knew that the moment was done. And I think like if I had watched this movie more often than I did, I think I only ever watched it like once or once and a half. I think that's what I would have done in that scene, because it was just so hard and painful for me to watch Stitch die that way. And of course he comes back and it's everything fine and it's really no biggie. But in the moment that it happened, I was just so sad. Especially because I think they play the music of the "I love you." I don't know if that's just that's me making stuff up, but it was
Yeah, I
very,
think they did play it,
very
right?
and that's basically all my memories from this movie. I think I remember something about her mom and that she was trying to be more like her mom, and that I just had the general idea of that. But other than that, I really had no memory of this movie before I watched it for the podcast. And I just remember like I don't even remember liking it. I just remember that scene and that how sad it made me feel, and that's everything that I had. That was all my thoughts on the movie, and that was it.
I didn't
And
remember. Sorry, I didn't remember that he died until Anna told me,
I'm so sorry I spoiled it to you.
and that makes me believe that maybe I didn't watch it whole. Like I didn't fully
Finish
watched
it.
it that time,
maybe you
so
did,
I
and
don't
you
know.
forgot, and you like blocked that memory from your
Yeah,
head.
I have no idea. I have no memory of this movie. Okay.
Repressed childhood.
Okay, so if we have no more memories to share, I'm gonna do a quick recap of the movie. I'm gonna try to do a quick recap so you can
It
help me.
didn't work last time. I don't think it's gonna
No,
work this time.
you can try to help me if if you want. So the movie starts very dramatically because it's basically Stitch's nightmare that he has gone completely insane and he's basically destroying all of Hawaii and he's hurting Lilo and the family and destroying the house and everything is basically being destroyed by him. He wakes up, Lilo goes like everything's fine, don't worry about it, and they have this little therapy session that is hilarious. That Stitch is just lying on his back with his little hands folded on his chest,
He looks
and
so cute
Lilo's
and he's
like with her pencil and her glasses and her notebook, just taking notes and drawing what Stitch is saying to her. And like, okay, I deduct that you are afraid of becoming evil, but here's a list of reasons why you're not evil. And she starts doing stuff like throwing stuff up in the air for Stitch to catch
can I
and things
say
like that.
can I say that the amount of trust Lilo has in Stitch is outstanding? She throws her favorite book out of the freaking window. She jumps out of her
Yeah.
bunk bed and just like I'm not even worried. Like I know you're gonna catch me. She threatens to break her favorite Elvis Presley freaking lamp. And she's
Yeah.
like, but I trust you. Like, wow. I mean, the amount
Get
of
your friend
trust.
that trusts
I
you like that.
know.
Also, I love the little detail that Lilo's favorite book is called "Plastic Surgery Has Gone Wrong."
Oh
Like
my god, I love that.
that's just
She's
a very Lilo thing. Like very weird, specific detail that you're like, okay,
But
but
it's such
whatever.
like a throwaway line. They never focus on it. They're just like, yeah, that's who she is. Move on.
Yeah,
That's the best
yeah,
comedy from Lilo and Stitch. Just like throwaway jokes.
Yeah, it's great.
Also,
Also,
can I
can
just
I?
say,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you
that
go first.
this scene is a gold mine for WhatsApp stickers, and I
yeah,
didn't know it until I saw it, and
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, she
oh
was sending me pics. She's been like, "Here's the sticker," and I was like, "Yeah, you didn't know that."
no, like I said,
And
I
now I know
referenced
that.
this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I know I like every time I see those stickers, I know which scene it is.
Of course.
So I guess like, and I haven't watched that movie since I was young because I didn't have owned these movies until I was like 19,
Mhm.
and I have them on Blu-ray, but I don't have a Blu-ray right now, so
Oh
I
my
haven't
god.
watched it. I went through a lot of trouble to watch this movie today.
Oh damn.
We accept your
Yeah,
sacrifice.
yeah, I know. Can I just say that I appreciate the commitment to aesthetic this movie has from the beginning, like from the logo, the glitches.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it does.
and then for the cinematic beginning, I just wrote the Avengers, which they had what Stitch has a glitch has, like the power.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I threw
Yeah.
a lot of shade to Marvel in these notes. I'm so sorry, Marvel.
No, just let's do it. Let's do it.
And also he looks hella cute. I just wrote my baby looking cute as a button. I never
Oh
even said
yeah,
that.
I wrote Stitch's PJs are the cutest because I think
Yes, he
like
looks so cute.
the PJs he's wearing, the pajamas he's wearing are just he looks so cute in them. Like he doesn't need to wear pajamas, but he does, and they
Oh,
are
he
Guys,
does
super
that
cute.
for
Yeah,
us,
it's
okay?
like
He
a
does so
onesie and it's so adorable.
can
and
I
it's like a shade of blue that's lighter than him, so it looks so cute.
Aw.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
I
Tami.
mean,
No, you're good. You guys were sharing your notes. I wrote here that opening scene was traumatizing.
very, very fucking dramatic. Like literally all of Hawaii being destroyed by Stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I cannot take him seriously because he's flying, but he's having like his evil laughter, like ha 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 ha, and then he just says hi to a dude surfing. He's just like aloha, and then he keeps going and he keeps laughing, and I'm like, he's just a baby. Like if he committed war crimes, I would support him.
Me with Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
after the PJ thing, I wrote Plickly is me, but I don't really remember why I wrote that. I feel like I related to
Oh,
Plickly
I
a
think
lot
I
in
know
this
why you
movie.
wrote that.
Why?
Because he's like, I'm so busy today. I have to like study human behavior, and then he's like, you're just gonna
Yeah,
watch talk shows and
and read
like reality
magazines.
shows.
And read
Yeah, and he's
magazines,
like, yeah,
gossip magazines. Like it's for
yes,
research. Yeah.
yeah, and he says like, yeah, but it takes it out of you. Like he gets so tired after doing that. So maybe that's why you wrote that.
Yeah, that was exactly it. That was me.
Yeah.
So Lilo and Stitch head over to Lilo's hula class. I think that's where they go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to her hula class, and of course she's late as always. And the teacher tells the girls that there's gonna be a festival in 3 days. Like, why didn't he tell them sooner? But okay. And
Because
so
it's
And
a
he
movie.
expects them, and he
in the
expects them to like
festival,
do their own dance, find their music, do their wardrobes and like their props. Like, dude, they're 8 years old. Like,
they're like
I don't,
how
I
do they
don't know what
think
you're
they're gonna do
talking
that?
about. I don't know what you're talking about because that's college. That's just you have
not
2 days
7 years
to
old
make
in
this present.
college.
Eh?
You're not 7 years old in college.
Of course
Yeah,
you are. Of course you
that's
are.
my
Maybe.
point.
Okay.
So the teacher tells them there's gonna be a festival in 3 days, and they all will get to do a dance each that they're gonna make up, just like from zero. And they're gonna do the dance. They're gonna do the music. They're gonna do a story. They have to choose a theme, and they have to do the scenery, and everything has to happen in 3 days. So the girls all get together and they start planning what they're gonna do, what each of them is gonna do, and every all the girls are sorry, and the girls start saying, "Oh, my mom knows how to sew. My mom knows how to do this. My mom is gonna help me with that." And Lilo gets very sad because, of course, she doesn't have a mom anymore.
Hmm.
And okay, I didn't know what that was funny.
I'm just laughing at the kids because they're like, "Oh my god, you cannot say that. Lilo has no mom."
Yeah,
And everybody is like, "But like, I mean, we all know she doesn't have a mom," and they just keep saying, "She doesn't have a mom. She doesn't have a
yeah,
mom," and I'm like, "Kids,
that's
calm
funny.
down."
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I felt so
Um,
bad for Lilo
Me
in
too.
that scene, but the kids were just. I just wrote, "Kids are so dumb sometimes."
Yeah,
And like, it's nothing against them, but like, because they were trying to be kind, they were trying to not make her sad, but they just kept saying, "She has no mom. She has no mom. She has no mom."
yeah.
Like, let her leave. I'm sorry.
And no, it's fine. So the teacher takes Lilo aside and he shows him a picture of her mom when she was her age winning the festival. Oh, of course, I forgot to mention that there's gonna be a winner of the festival. I don't know, whatever. It's important. And so her mom won the festival that they're doing right now. So Lilo gets inspired and she's decided to win the contest because her mom did, and so she feels like it's her duty to do so. And I love the scene right after the class that Myrtle comes out. And by the way, all the other girls like got nicer, but Myrtle became more of a bitch. Like all of the negative feelings from the other girls, they just lashed onto Myrtle because she's so bad to Lilo. And she just goes out
She's
of her
so
way.
mean.
She's so mean. She just goes out of her way to be like, "You're not gonna win this contest.
But
You're
I thought that
never
was like
gonna
on
be like your
purpose.
mom." What?
Yeah, that was super mean. I thought it was like on purpose to show that it's just peer pressure. Because even in the first movies, and I think in the TV show, the other girls are not openly mean to her unless Myrtle is.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with like peer pressure, and they see her as the leader because she has these like super pressing. I don't know how to say it, like pushy personality, and also because I think they're afraid that she's gonna start bullying them.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yeah,
can
probably.
you can unionize You can just like bound together against her. She's just
As
one
a-
kid.
As a former Mean Girl and as a former Mean Girl sidekick, I can assure you all of what you just said is right. And the peer pressure, yeah,
Okay.
keeps making you do bad things. Yeah, back into my dark past.
I didn't know you were a mean girl.
When
Me
I was
neither.
like 5 years old,
Oh my god, you
and
were a
my
5-year-old
cousin was
me.
the like Regina George, and I had to follow her. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
The
Okay.
dark Andi door. Oh my god, I remember.
Back to the movie, I guess.
Oh yeah. This is my
Um,
favorite scene in everything Stitch
me,
has ever appeared in.
my too. Oh, by the way, important detail. So the teacher tells Lilo that she has to behave good. Oh wait, this is after. Sorry. So in this moment, when Meryl says, "Oh, you're never gonna be like your mom," uh, Lilo had already wanted to like punch her, and Stitch had hold her back. But when she says this, like they just look at each other, and Stitch just goes like, "Okay," and he lets her go, and they just go at it, and they start punching each other, and Stitch just takes pictures.
And then he takes a selfie.
Yes, and then cut
That
to
is
the
mean.
the hula teacher is like showing the pictures to Nana, and
And then
Lilo just goes like, next time, just like what does she say?
flush the
Flush the
evidence.
evidence.
Flush
And then
the
Yeah,
he
evidence.
does the
yeah,
flushing sound.
yeah. And the teacher tells Lilo that she has to behave good because if she does, then she's not gonna be able to participate in the contest. And so Lilo promises to be good and behave nicely, and so she tries to be a model citizen from then on. But she doesn't know what to do for her hula, and so she starts looking for ideas. But in the meantime, Stitch has been going through some stuff, and he has this kind of like attacks where his eyes go all green and he can't control his actions and he just starts destroying everything around him, and he doesn't know why this is happening. So while Lilo is trying to look for ideas for her dance, Stitch is going through all of this. So Jumba sees that Stitch is having this malfunction and he's like, oh damn. And they just pull this backstory out of nowhere that when Jumba was creating Stitch, that he wasn't fully charged
Charge.
because
Yeah,
apparently
his molecules have to stabilize or something.
um
But also that scene was also super cute because like
because we see Stitch being born. That's
yeah,
cute.
that's the only reason I'm happy that same scene when he shows him like his iconic red suit and Stitch loses his mind. He just goes like, "Oh my god, that's the best thing I've ever seen in the last 2 seconds I've been alive." And Jen is like, "Yes, it's gonna look so great and evil on you."
Yeah, girl.
You just thinking like you're gonna take a lot of pics and upload it to Space Instagram or something. Like he would have a ton of subscribers just from the Stitch content. Let's be honest. He's like the
Oh,
Chihuahua of the space.
oh my god.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
just think
He
he
was
looks
a
really
collie, but then he got run over. Remember?
cute. Yes. I'm just like super excited. He looked really cute in this film.
He does.
Everything he did, I was like, a baby. He must be protected.
Even when destroying the city, yeah, a baby.
Yeah, a baby. I legit support him. When
Babies
Lilo
can
is like,
destroy city. Sorry.
yes, give him his rights. When in the dream, when Lilo is like, why are you doing this? I just wrote, why are you judging him?
Oh
So
my
yeah.
god. Okay. So I love this moment where Jumba just rushes off the house to like his lab or his ship, I don't know, and just bleakly just running after him and just yelling, include me!" Like that's me. That's my eternal mood. So apparently, like the space police came in just as Jumba was finishing with charging Stitch, and they took him away. They took him away, and they didn't let Stitch get fully charged, and so that's why he's malfunctioning now because he has like this electrical problem, I guess. Whatever plot.
May I get political again?
Okay.
I just wrote the government ruins everything again.
Oh my god.
I thought you were going to get into eugenics, and I was like, Anna, don't.
Oh my god. No.
Oh my god, no, I'm not getting into that yet. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yet.
I do have a class. I do have a philosophy class when I do bring it up every day, and my teacher is just like, "Calm down."
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
You're unlocking my political side, apparently.
it's great. I'm loving it. It's fun.
Okay.
So Jumba goes, okay, we need to save Stitch somehow, and he starts collecting stuff from the house to build this machine that's gonna finish charging Stitch. And it's really funny because Plickly has to go down to the house and take like a toaster, and they just start stealing Nanny stuff. It's hilarious. And while all this is happening, Stitch is helping Lilo pick a theme for their hula. And I love this moment where they're like just juggling different ideas, and they go like mummies, and they're dressed like mummies. And there's this one moment where Lilo goes gossip, and Stitch just goes. That's us. I actually laughed at that moment, like genuine laughter. Like
That's Ozzy in el chisme.
yeah.
Oh yes, excuse me.
So Lilo gets this idea that in order for her to get inspiration, she needs to go to every place that Elvis visited in Hawaii, and that will somehow give her a sign of what she has to do. So she and Stitch go and they visit all these different tourist spots in Hawaii that Elvis was in. And every time they go to a new place, Stitch has a new attack, and just Lilo starts getting very impatient with him. She doesn't understand what he's going through, and he doesn't tell her either. So they're just like, okay, just don't do that anymore. And he's like, okay, but then of course like he does it again because he can't control it. And okay, so finally they reach this um how do I put this? They reached this bench where Elvis sat, and Lilo sits there, and she's like, I can't believe my butt is sitting on the place that Elvis Presley's butt was in, or something like that. And all the way from a distance, they hear a couple guys, a couple musicians playing a song. That's a story about the goddess. What's her name, Tami?
Oh, I actually wrote it down. Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay. Do you have it, Tami? Because I'm
I
looking
think
for
it's.
it.
I don't know. I don't know it officially. I think it's like Hick. I don't know it.
I wrote
Hikaya.
Hiyaka.
Kiaka?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hiyaka
I wrote
and
Hiyaka.
Lohai,
We
Lohie,
Lohiao.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wrote them like phonetically because I don't know how to spell like in their language, so I just wrote them phonetically. And it's Hiyaka, I think, with two I sounds, and
Okay.
Lohiao.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the song is about the myth, the Hawaiian myth of the goddess. What was it? Hiaka.
Hiyaka.
Yeah, Hiaka and her moral friend Lohiao, and this friendship that they had that was stronger than death. And this gives little inspiration, and she starts making up her dance around that. Around that, so she starts rehearsing, and and she of course includes Stitch in it. And in the big rehearsal, the last rehearsal before the festival, Stitch has a very big attack, and he starts attacking the other girls, the teacher. He starts destroying the hula dance class, and so the teacher goes, "You cannot perform at the festival because you're too dangerous, and this is like too much, and you're out of the festival." You go, which unfair
No,
because
he
it
tells
was.
her that she can never practice hula in this place
Oh,
again,
okay,
and I just
okay,
went,
that's it.
damn, calm down.
Yeah, that was it. They don't kick her out of the festival, so
I think it's like tentative because when she shows up to the festival, he's like, "Are you sure you're ready?" I'm just like, "Yeah, of course I'm ready." Because
so
Lilo has confidence.
yeah, she does. I love her. So Lilo, of course, gets mad at Stitch, and she kicks him out of the dance, and she starts practicing the hula on her own. And I guess I just help me out here because it's kind of blurry in my mind. I think it's this the moment where Stitch decides to go away.
No,
Yeah,
they
what happens?
they have the fight, and she's trying to practice on her own, but she cannot because she has to hold. Oh my god, what is it called? I was just thinking about this instrument like before we started recording. The tiny guitar.
The ukulele.
Ukulele?
Yes, she has to hold a ukulele for a Hiao, and she has to put the mask on, and then she has to also change to the other mask because she's also the goddess, and it's a mess. So Stitch decides he wants to prove to her that he's good again, and he does the most the most cliche things a good person in quotations can do. He wants to help a lady cross the street, an old lady.
Yeah.
But first, he stops the car, right? But he
Yeah.
doesn't have a lady. He doesn't have a lady, so he goes into a supermarket and steals a lady.
Yeah.
And then there's like this super cute moment where he's walking through the woods. I don't think you can call them woods. He's
The
walking through
jungle?
the wilderness. I don't know. And then he sees a tiny baby bird like try to fly and fall. And he does like really dramatic, and then he cradles him in his arms and like picks him up. And then he starts feeling like he's good levels and goes to Lilo all excited, like, "Hey Lilo, I'm good again." But Lilo is still super mad. Like I think she talks to Nanny briefly, like he ruined everything. And Nanny's like, I think you just need to be patient with him. And I'm like, oh my god, Nanny proves to be the smartest in these movies yet again.
Yeah.
But then they have like the most sibling fight ever, where he's like, when she's hovering her finger next to him, and he's like, "Oh my
She's
god, you're
touching
touching
me."
me!"
Yeah.
That
But
is
this happens.
iconic.
Yeah, it's super iconic. But this happens because he goes to her like, "Hey, I'm good now," and she's like, "I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to like even see you. You're dead to me." And he gets
Basically.
mad because he went through all of this trouble and he won't even look at it. Like she won't even look at him. So that's where they start bickering. And I just love that interaction where he's like, "It's you're she's touching me," and it's just like it's free air, and then he licks her face.
Yeah.
And then Nanny gets really mad. She's like, "I'm gonna throw you into your room and you're gonna talk about this like adults, even though you're kids." And she's like, "You're gross," and he's like, "You have stupid hair." And like I wrote that down because I thought that was like perfect ceiling representation.
Oh my god.
But then they do talk, and he's like, "I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to do that, but I promise I'm gonna keep being good," because she's like, "You promised to me you were gonna be good, and if you cannot do that, then I cannot have you in this dance with me because this is important because of my mom." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I promise I'm gonna be good." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you one last chance. I'm gonna go get the recorder, and you can get the costumes, right?" But then he freaks out, like he glitches, like the worst he has glitched in this movie, I think, and destroys absolutely everything. So when she comes back, she gets really like mad and angry because they had worked so hard on this, and so that's when he decides he's gonna run away forever.
Yeah.
I think now he runs away, and I think he sucks. Like he starts crying in in like their treehouse, which I thought was a nice parallel to the first movie when he's like, "I just want a family. I'm lost."
Oh
Because
yeah.
here he has the paper, the goodness levels, and he just says Stitch good,
Mm-hmm.
like Stitch good, and then he hugs it, and then it's just like sad music and everything's just so lonely, and I
Oh.
was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. And then I don't remember what happens when oh, she has another conversation with Nanny that I thought was also like
Oh,
sibling
it was very
relationship.
sweet. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
very
because
that was I think the most emotional moment in the movie. Because like this is the moment where Lilo like opens up to Nani about why this dance is important to her and that she doesn't want to let her mom down. And Nani is just like, "Oh no, mom's gonna be very proud of you. Is mom is proud of you because you are who you are." And she knows that you're doing an amazing job. And Lilo just goes like, "You too." And like the face Nanny makes, like, oh, wow.
Thank you. What did you say?
Yeah, it's a very
because just
sweet,
before
sweet
that, Lilo had
moment.
just told her that I wish mom was here.
Oh
And
yeah.
Nanny was like, I'm doing my best. And then Lilo
Yeah.
told her, well, your best is not good enough. And I
Yeah.
just went, damn. And that's what I
Damn,
meant
Lilo.
with, yeah, and that's what I meant with like realistic portrayals of grief.
Yeah.
Because that's what a child does. A child gets angry because they want something that they know they can no longer have. So they lash out. And I was like, oh my God, this is so realistic. and so cute.
Direct
But
to
also
video
I thought
sequels.
I know, right? But also I thought it was nice that she tells Nanny, I want my mom to know I'm good because that's what Stitch is trying to get. Like
Oh yeah.
they're both trying to get validation of something that's not real. Goodness is not a thing you can measure. It's not a thing people can give you. It's something you try to be all every day. So I thought it was like a nice parallel between their struggles if they both want to be perceived as good by something or someone. When it's just, I love that Nanny doesn't answer, Mom thinks you're good. She just says, Mom will be proud of you no matter what, because Nanny gets it.
Yeah.
I, yeah. I deeply analyze these things because I'm a literature student, I guess. Literature.
It's fine. I do that too sometimes. So I don't really remember what happens. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. So it's the day of the festival. Jumba and Plickly have done the machine, but they tried to make it work and it exploded, so they had to do it again. And by the time, well, whatever, we'll get back to them later. So Lilo is in the festival and she's about to go out, and by the way, Myrtle goes on before her and she does the most stupid and cringy thing ever, I think, in a Lilo and Stitch movie. She, her dance is about her dad's souvenir shop, and it's just very, very cringy, very cringy.
Not to be political again, but I read somewhere that that was the point of it, like the juxtaposition between her dance. Oh my god,
Yeah,
I
of
just used
course.
the word juxtaposition. Oh my god, I'm so pretentious. Between her dance and Lilo's dance, because Lilo is obviously about the Hawaiian mythology and her culture, while Myrtle is more about the capitalist side of it all, the
Yeah.
tourist side of it all, which is a thing that it's a problem in Hawaii. So I thought that was like, they're getting political, so I'm getting political. That's where it came from.
Yeah,
So yeah.
totally. So right before Lilo goes on stage, Stitch shows up and he tells her, "I think you're gonna do great, and you're gonna do really good and whatever."
A
And
baby.
I don't know what Lilo tells him. Oh, he has another glitch. He has another attack, and he tells her finally, "I don't know what's happened to me. I cannot control this." And this is where Lilo understands that what's happening to him is not his fault and that something is really, really wrong with him. And this is the moment that he accidentally scratches her face, just like in his nightmare, and he
Which
runs
is
away.
which was so great because in his nightmare, when he scratches Lilo, she looks really scared of him. But
Yeah.
the moment he actually does it, she's just super worried about him. So she obviously gasps, like she's surprised that he scratched her, but then she goes to reassure him, which I thought was like, wow,
Yeah.
poetic cinema.
Yeah. But Stitch runs away, and it's Lilo's time to go on stage. So, with like all these feelings, she goes on stage. But of course, she cannot get through the dance because she's thinking about Stitch and she's worried about him. So she runs off, and she goes to find him, but he's already in a ship. He's told by his red ship, I think, and he's trying to find a planet, a desert planet that he can go and just, I don't know, die. I guess. I guess that was his
Die, I
plan
guess.
to
I
like
guess I'll
get
die.
away from anyone that he may hurt. And so Lilo and Jumba and Plickly and Nani and David, I think it's also there. They get in the car and they run after Stitch. But of course, Stitch is glitching and he loses control of the ship and he crashes. And Lilo is the only one that can go after him because she is the only one that has her what's the little ship called? The one that she uses to like
The
go to
hover
I
something.
yeah,
The
a
hover
I just
hover.
car.
call them hover cars. I
The
just call them
the
hover
hover car that
cars.
she has at the end of the first movie, like in the little like after credits or something that she gets it for Christmas, I think.
Yes.
She uses
Yeah.
that to stitch faster while everyone else has to like hike over there. Like okay. Um so I think in the ship was the machine in the ship, or why, or how did
Yeah,
she
because
get hold
I
of the
think
machine?
because I think it's like sort of established in the TV show that they live like Prickly and Jumba live in that ship.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like a tiny house. They rented like a Airbnb one time. So yeah, in the TV show.
I
they
can't
have
believe
a nurse.
Airbnb took their idea from Stitch Gets a Glitch.
No, actually the TV show. But yeah, I
Sorry,
think
the TV
it's
show.
stylish. They live there, so it's like his lab is also there, so the machine is there as well. But also
Okay.
when Lilo gets there, she moves like this big ass piece of metal that should be like burning. And
Yeah.
she's not even wearing shoes. And I'm like, girl, get some protection. You're gonna get burned.
Yeah. And so Stitch, I think he's already unconscious or something. So she gets Lilo to the machine and they power it up, but it's not working for some reason. And Jumba and the others finally make it over there, and Lilo like turns to him and she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. Something's not right with the machine. It's not working. And Jumba just looks at it and he just goes like, it's gone. Like it's not working.
It's too late.
We're too late. And of course, like he just turns the machine off and he opens it up and takes Stitch's dead body out of there and just
He was
hands
so
it over to
sad.
Lilo. It's like, why would you do that? Just leave him there.
When he hugs him, like he takes him out of the machine, and then he just sort of like hugs him, and I'm like, oh my god, this is
He's
so
his
sad.
dad.
Why do you hate me? Yeah.
Well, he is his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a sweet, like the first person that, I don't know, takes his dead body out.
Mm.
that I don't know, cradles his dead body. Oh my god. He's
Yeah.
got really
Sad.
sad out of nowhere. It's like
Yeah.
his father figure, and we have like obviously the flashback to the first time he's born. The first time he's born. He cannot be born more than one time. The first time he like exists, it's with Jumba. So I thought that was like a stab to the heart, and then like twisted it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for that, whoever made this movie. I hate
Yeah.
all of you.
So Jumba takes Stitch, he hands it over to Lilo and she just hugs him, and I don't know if she says something to him. I think she tells him something like I will love you always, or I will always love you, or something like that.
Now she tells him that I'm so sorry, like you're my family, you're my Ohana, I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. And I was like, oh my god, she has lost so much already.
Yeah.
Stop doing this to her.
Yeah. That's so sad. Oh, she says, "You're my Johanna, Stitch, and I'll always love you."
Oh my god, that just hurts. And
Yeah.
he looks so tiny and so sad.
Yeah. So of course, Lilo is grieving over him, and this activates the power of friendship. And
I just wrote Disney magic.
Oh, I've got things to say about that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, we
I
all
know.
have things to
I
say
there
about
was
that.
I got to say, I did not remember this being the reason that he came back. Like, I thought that like the machine actually like was gonna do something like oh yeah, the machine works again or something. But no, it's just literally the magic of friendship that brings him back to life, cures him
Gina,
miraculously.
Yeah, we
Like
all
not
have
even the
opinions about
magical,
that.
can I
not even the
interject?
magical kiss, not even the magical tear, not even
No,
just
nothing.
the
It's
power
just
of friendship.
a powerful hug. That
Oh my
was all
god.
he needed.
No,
Gina,
actually,
Yeah.
like how you
okay.
said, I don't remember this being the reason, and I'm just like, what reason? There is no
There was no reason, literally, because Jumbo says it was too late, the machine didn't work, and then Prickly turns to him and he's like, "Is this possible?" And Jumbo's like, "No, it's not, but I mean, it's happening, I guess."
The magic
Yeah.
system, I guess.
The
why?
writers, like in the writing room, is this possible? I don't know. It's happening.
Just write
I
that
don't know what's
down.
happening. Like that's
It's
when he
it.
said
They're not gonna notice. They're not gonna make a podcast about it when they're like 20 something.
In
Nobody's gonna notice.
2019.
Yeah.
Yes.
feelings. That gave me feelings, very negative ones. When Jumbo said it's not, and immediately my reaction was like, "That's not good enough, Jumbo."
Yeah.
Give
What
me
kind of science
scientific
guy
proof.
are you? You're not a real
Yes.
science guy.
Oh
But
my
okay.
god.
So
This is me complaining about the space physics in the other Stitch sequel.
I mean, everything else kind of has had a science reason behind it. Like even the reason why Stitch was glitching, like they went through the trouble of being like, oh, this is the reason why he's going through this because he wasn't fully charged when he was born, and then they just like, oh yeah, he's just back to life because reason. because
LOL.
love. And I understand that it's supposed to reflect on the myth of the goddess and the other guy, that her love for him brought him back or saved his life, and that's supposed to be like the parallel, but it does not work that way. Like the myths are something, and if you're gonna do something to adapt it, just adapt it well. Don't just go like, oh yeah, well that's what happens in the myth, so whatever, because that's not how it works. But
Yeah,
anyways,
because you went through the trouble of being like, this is the scientific reason of why he's going through this thing. And then you're like, but it can be fixed by, I don't know, love, I guess, and the ocean in the background.
yeah, whatever. So Stitch is back to life, and then they all go back to the festival, and they all dance together to Lilo's dance. That I don't know how they know it, but they do. I mean, whatever. And I think that's where the movie ends, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And through all of this, there's a subplot with David and Nani. Like David is
right.
trying to get Nani's attention, but Nani is like
Yes.
too busy with her life because she's a busy woman. She has to take care of a child and like 3 aliens. So she's a busy woman. And David is like, I want to spend more time with her. I feel like she's ignoring me. And Flickly is like, oh, you're such a goopy guy. That's not going to attract her. So you got to make her jealous. And Flickly goes through all this trouble to try to make Nani jealous. But Nani's like, you're dating Flickly? And Flickly's like, no, I'm a Swedish student coming from, like, yeah. And you're like, okay, are you jealous? Nope. And it's like,
but I thought it was like super funny when she does get mad at him because she's like, okay, I live with 3 aliens. My younger sister is weird up, and I just have to work all day and go home to that. I just want you to be the only normal thing in my life, and you're just being weird.
yeah.
She just goes, I'm not gonna deal with your shit right now. I don't have the time.
I love Nani. I love
Yeah,
her.
we
amazing.
all
She's
love
the
that.
best. She's like the only sane person, actually.
That is
Yeah.
actually this is the plot that made me think that okay, this is just like
An episode.
an extended episode of the series because it's just like okay, we have the A plot with Stitch fucking dying, and we have the B plot with Plickly and David that doesn't go that what is going on there, and just like I think that was just there to fill the time.
And also
Mm-hmm.
to do something with David and Prickly because
Well,
I mean
yeah.
And
we have
Nani.
Jumba and Nani. We had Jumba doing like the Stitch stuff, and then we have Stitch dealing with like his imminent death, and then we have Lilo dealing with the death of her mom.
Oh.
And so we have like this really heavy stuff, and they're like, but Prickly and David are just there, Nani sometimes.
And
So,
Flickly's in drag of the movie.
yes.
Comedy.
Yeah.
I
But
love
also
this
because
quote.
he looks fabulous in it. Like, let's be honest,
Yeah.
he's like,
He's working it.
Yeah.
I love this quote where like Lilo is like all sad because she's thinking about her mom and how she's not good enough, and like she's like comparing her to her mom, and she's like the only thing that she inherited me was Nani.
Nanny.
Nanny.
And then
That's a very
then the Stitch
sister
goes,
thing to say.
yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, so that's the movie. We finished the
That is the
recap,
movie.
and yeah, so let's throw our thoughts out there. Let's just say what we liked and didn't like about the movie. So whoever wants to go first, whoever has thoughts.
Okay, before we get into that, can I say like the stupidest little trivia I have?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not even trivia; it's about me. One of the kids
Psych.
I had you in the first half.
Not
One of
gonna lie.
one of the mean kids. I don't remember. She's a brunette. She does the pineapple dance.
Oh yeah.
I've done the pineapple dance, but
Is
she
that a
didn't do it.
thing?
It is. You put a pineapple on your shoulder and you dance with it. It's super heavy and I hated it. And she didn't actually put a pineapple on her shoulders. So the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, how old I was. Yeah, I was like, that's not how it is. It's hard work. A pineapple is heavy. It stabbed me in the face. So
Oh my
yeah,
god.
Yeah,
I
the
just wrote
pineapple is
that.
stabby.
Yeah, it's super pointy, and it's just in your shoulder. So yeah, I
Oh.
just had that, and I wanted to put it out there before I forgot. Okay, so who has thoughts? I don't have a brain, so I don't have them. I actually
Tami?
have. Okay. Yay.
Okay.
Oh, Tami.
Sorry, it was just like I felt like a lot was happening.
Yeah, we had to take a mo. Okay.
Okay,
So
so positive thoughts, negative thoughts,
Just
all the
whatever you
thoughts.
feel like
just
saying.
Well, I
thoughts.
feel like I mean, I feel like I covered that in the beginning. Like
Okay.
I don't want to be super repetitive, but I'll just like I like what they tried to do with it, and I feel like what Andi said before really probably just is the reason to why it feels not as good is because it was probably I don't know like a lot of I don't know it was probably a TV episode that has the same stakes, the same pacing, the same kind of writing, but I felt
Mm-hmm.
like the people who made it really loved the original movie. Like I can feel love there. I can feel that they tried to stay true, unlike the horror that is Lady of the Tramp 2 that had no love.
Oh my god.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I cursed. I hate that movie.
We know.
But that's not the case here.
Okay.
It is not the case here. They did a lot of good things. I felt like I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I enjoyed my second time watching this ever, and I like I laughed at a lot of things. Like I have it on here. Like I think the best joke is when they were trying. I can't remember you guys mentioning it, but like when Lilo and Stitch are meditating and a chicken walks by, and then she goes, Elvis is telling us to do a hula about a chicken. And then Stitch, like the good friend he is, just takes her by the hand and goes, no, he's not.
I know, I love that.
No, he's
He's just
not.
like so serious about it. Like, no, he's not, Lilo.
Like, he's not a bitch. like he knows Lilo so well. He was like, I accept her and I love her. But this is no. So much was
This
said when
ain't it.
so I think there were a lot of good things. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. I feel like it has a lot of elements that would make me like it. I don't know. Maybe I was just tired because I loved all the music made me smile when Hawaiian roller coaster ride started playing.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just like, yeah, this is my jam. And then like I just liked how it like even like went with how they went underwater with the dolphins. Like
Oh my
the
god, the
music,
That
sound
moment,
design on that was great.
it was
it
cute.
was like on that moment, I actually wrote on my notes like, oh, this is actually trying to be a movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way that they like the camera work in that scene and like just how they played around with the audio and like whenever they went underwater the music kind of faded out and they
That
telling like
was
the story
awesome.
that was like okay, and then like the whole shot of them flying over the dolphins and the island and the mountains, I'm like okay, this is like if this had a better budget and this was like meant to
Yeah.
be on the big screen on a like a cinema, this would be very awesome looking and this would
Yeah,
actually really look very beautiful, and that's what I
for
mean with
sure.
this movie trying to be a movie. Like for the first couple of minutes, like it's trying to be very very serious and being like okay, this is the sequel to the classic Lilo and Stitch and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it right, damn it. And then it kind of just went like halfway there where you're like yeah, this is just a direct-to-video sequel, that's
They
just not.
legit had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I wrote that too. I was like, the beginning was very like cinematic and
It was.
super, yeah, and like they had an aesthetic
Yeah.
going and like a seriousness because he was afraid he was gonna hurt people again, and then they had like a cute scene when she's like, okay, tell me all about it, and he's like, whoosh, 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 and then push, 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 and you're like, okay, so it's a movie that, yeah, it's trying to be a serious movie with like comic relief here and there, and then it just derails. And
Yeah,
you're like,
I,
what happened? What
Yeah.
happened there?
yeah, it's actually because I think that in the first half, actually not the first half, like the first third or something,
Yeah.
I think they were building up it was a good build up, but then I don't know, with that Lilo has to do this dance, and that, uh, Stitch has his thing going on where he has this glitch, and you know that now you have the David politically thing. So
Yeah, that's
it's
so weird.
literally ABC plot. It's literally
Mhm.
just this is the definition of the plot of an episode of a TV show,
I was
and
gonna say that. Like
yeah. Mhm.
the people I live with, that's gonna sound so mean, but they love like CW DC shows. So
Uh,
I watch a lot of them, and they have these like, for example, I don't know, The Flash or something. They have like these really intense A plot where someone's like about to blow up the world, and then they have like a B plot which is like, oh, I'm just looking for clothes for my baby, and you're like, what?
What?
Like, how is that? How is that even like remotely like? Why is it sharing screen time with this really intense moment where like the main character is going to like his own moral like I don't know crisis, and he's like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this like to my friends. I'm gonna make them like die because they're here protecting me. And the friend's like, but we will follow you everywhere. And you're like, oh my god, that's intense. And then she's like, oh my god, but I don't know if pink will go well with like these jeans. And you're like, what?
like that is
And
so good for tension.
yeah, like this is exactly what this episode needed.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's how I felt about this movie as well. When the
Mhm.
whole Prickly and David thing came up, I was like, oh my god, I'm watching a CW episode
With Lilo and Stitch.
with Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
The crossover we didn't know we needed because we didn't need it,
Because
but
we
it's
did.
there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, like we have similar thoughts, all of us, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I think I do agree that it does feel like a long TV show episode, which is funny because I don't think well, it is kind of what we felt of the last one, and the last one was actually like a long TV episode,
But it
but this
knew
was
what it
supposed,
was.
yeah, it knew what it was. And this one, at the beginning, as I said, it's trying to be cinematic and it's trying to say something and it's trying to be a decent sequel that, like, what a sequel that Lilo and Stitch deserve. And then, like, the movie's just an hour long, so they
Yeah.
don't really have the time to like fully explore all the themes that they set up, like about um how Lilo's loss of her parents has affected her and how
Mhm.
Stitch has this issue, like this very deep issue of he wants to be good, but something inside of him is pulling him to be bad, and he can't control it. And you have then this other plot with David trying to date Nani, while Nani is being a busy woman, and that could be like a complete movie on all itself, because if you delved right into it, it could be an interesting commentary on like couples and relationships, and how you split your time between your career and your responsibilities and another one, and
Oh
and
my god, a rom com.
yeah.
We want a Nanny
Lilo
and
and
David
Stitch.
rom com.
Please.
As Disney
Um,
hire us to write it.
Disney Plus,
Yeah.
Yes,
But I was
hire
trying,
us.
please.
what I was trying to get at that is this movie so short that it tries to do a lot of things, but in the end it doesn't really dwell into any of them. It just covers them superficially, and it just goes like, well, there you go. And that's fully
Yeah.
shown in like the moment where Stitch is being brought back to life. Why? Because of reasons. Like,
You
forget
know
all
what?
the backup that we already built. Like, oh yeah, forget about that. Like, it was solved with a big hug. Yeah, whatever. And I think that's like my main issue with the movie, like the way that Stitch is being brought back to life, because it really makes no sense, and it kind of hurts the moment a little bit, because I think the moment is very dramatic, as I explained it earlier. It's very, very dramatic, and it makes children cry, or at least I cried when I was a kid. And then it's just solved in a very meh way, and I think it deserved better than that. And yeah, so I think that's my main issue with the movie, that it's trying to do a lot and it has the potential to do a lot, and or at least like be a decent direct to home video sequel, but it kind of just lands in the middle, like they just gave up, and that's it.
You know
They
what?
just
You
gave
know
up.
what? I do have to say something about that because I think that we can't so far. Well, not so far, but we come a little further when it comes to Disney sequels because this one had theme that was related to original movie. This one had people that were actually invested in the story and in the characters. Actually, I think Chris Sanders. I don't know if he was the voice of Stitch in the other ones because he's the director, I think, of the other ones, and he's the voice
He's
of
the
Stitch in this one.
he's the director of the original Lilo and Stitch, but I think he only does the voices. Like he doesn't direct. He didn't direct any of the other, like any of
Uh-huh.
of the sequels, but he actually does the voice of Stitch. I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
so
like,
nice.
yeah, and he's here. I mean, and the animation is actually real. I mean, not only the animation, but the backgrounds and the characters and everything. It's good. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
good. It's just that it just like falls flat because I don't know. They didn't have enough time to check the script or something, or the same people that were working on the TV show maybe worked on this one, and they had like this kind of style of writing that was really TV show like. I don't know, but compare it to other sequels, and this is not bad by any means, but
No,
it's
not at all.
not good. Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah,
It's
those are my
there.
thoughts, I guess.
It
Yeah,
is a movie.
it's a movie. It is a
It
movie.
does. It kind of just falls flat. I think. I think it
Yeah.
aims high, and then it's just like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
and that's what it
we'll,
feels
we'll
like.
just do something. Jumping off of what you just said, I think it does have a lot of potential if they had just focused on one idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because,
definitely.
yeah, because I watched the entire credits, like, because I was listening to the music. And at the
Yeah.
end, there's a tiny message that says, to the team that worked on the first film, we wouldn't have been able to do this one without you. And I was like, oh my God, that is so nice. Like, you can feel that they loved the first movie and they love these characters. Because there's like tiny parallels that I think work really well. Like at the end, after where he's dead, actually. When he's dead and Lido's hugging him, Nanny comes to her and like kneels and also hugs him. And it's sort of like the end scene of the first one where he's like tied up and he walks to them and it's like, this is my family and it's a broken
Oh,
family. And it's just the three of them in the shot. So I was like, oh my God, like that's a nice parallel that works really well. And there was also the one I mentioned with the I'm lost and Stitch is good. And I wrote like several. There's like tiny moments that I was like, okay, this is to parallel the first movie, and this is something that resonates from the first movie. So you can see that they cared and they wanted to tell a good Stitch story if they had
Mm-hmm.
just focused on his glitch. So I don't know. I mean, I can feel the love that they had. So I think that's why like I loved it. Even though I know I was like at the end I was like, why is he alive again? Jesus, like Tammy's dead. But
It's
yeah,
Disney Jesus, Disney
yeah,
Alien Jesus.
yeah, he is indeed a Jesus. And I also love that they expand on their friendship because on the first one they have to go through all of these problems. Like he's an alien and he's evil, and she's trying to be like he thinks he's a dog, and then finally at the end she's like, oh, he's an alien. And so you see like they become this really cute family, but you just get like snapshots of their lives. So here they establish that,
Yeah.
and I love that their friendship is ride or die. They're always ready to square
Yeah.
up. If
yeah.
I had only had a movie of them fighting Myrtle, I would
Oh my
have
God.
been happy because they just build up on that relationship. And I even wrote that Lilo says that, oh my God, we'll go and do this dance and everybody will laugh at me and I'll get mad and punch Myrtle. Like
Yeah.
that's inevitable in Lilo's mind that she's gonna end up fighting
And she would
Myrtle.
deserve it.
Throw
She's a little
hands.
bitch.
Yeah, she would throw hands.
She's a girl. Okay.
And so I thought that the relationship was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Yeah.
like I think that was like the one thing that was like really well built.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean we have Nanny and Lido and they do have their sisterly moments and they're like really good, but then Nanny disappears for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they needed focus.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Yeah.
it had to do with time or budget, but you know.
Yeah. I do think I do agree with that, and I have mixed feelings, especially about the whole thing with Lilo's mom, because I think it does it it is a nice thing to bring up. I mean, not nice, but it's an interesting thing to bring up, like how this little 7-year-old girl has to deal with the death of her parents, and we get glimpses of that. And I think it's very subtle in the first movie, but if they wanted to dive deep into that, they could do that, and they start doing that by making her have this like need to win this festival because of her mom. And I think that could have been a movie on its own as well, because like by the end, when she finds out that Stitch has this problem and she rushes off to help him, like the whole thing with her mom disappears, and they don't bring it up again, and they
Yeah.
don't mention it, and
Yeah.
they're never like, well, at
Even
the
there.
end, Nani is like, at the end, Nani
Oh
goes,
yeah.
"Mom would be very proud of you," and that's like that's everything that they talk about, like.
Like
But
the mom thing
they
didn't
make
tie
such
into
a
the
big
theme at
deal.
all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they made
It
such a
did.
Yeah.
big deal out of the mom thing at the beginning, and then it just didn't pay off, and it kind of bothered me because
I
my,
think there was an attempt.
it was
I
there
mean,
was an attempt. And
there wasn't any.
I definitely was attached to this. Like, I didn't care for the Stitch bits like this time around when I watched it
Oh
first
my god!
when I was
You
a
were
little
like,
kid.
let
Anna
him
is leaving.
die.
No, I wasn't like, oh, let him die, but I was just not interested in that because I kind of knew what was gonna happen with that. So I was like, yeah, whatever, you're gonna be fine. But I didn't remember a lot of the mom stuff, and that kind of hit hard for me. I was like, okay, this is a movie that's gonna be like about Lilo trying to deal with her mom and her legacy,
Yeah.
and it kind of built hope for me that okay, this is gonna be about this little girl trying to deal with the loss of her mom, and then it's just not that. It kind of disappears and
Yeah.
like brushed off to the side. And I'm like, okay, so then why did you give me all these feels at the beginning?
This could have been so good.
It
Yeah,
could
it
be.
could
And
have.
there's this very nice scene between Lilo and Stitch where like Lilo's giving up and she's like, okay, Myrtle was right, I'm never gonna be like my mom, I don't even look like her. And Stitch just goes and grabs a flower and puts it in Lilo's head, just
Oh,
like
that's so sweet.
in her mom's picture. And she just looks in the mirror and she's like, oh, I kind of do look like her. And it's very sweet.
I
They
mean,
could have
it's like
done
we're almost the same
very,
character design.
yeah, yeah.
Because in the picture, that's just Lilo.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm trying to get at is that they could have done something really great with the mom thing, and then
Mm-hmm.
they just kind of, as with the rest of the movie, they just bring it halfway, and they're like, okay, I guess that's it, and then just they don't give it closure. And I think it's very sad that they couldn't make that plot work because it could have been like very very nice. Also, I don't
I
understand why they don't bring up the dad. I mean, the dad is dead as well, but
I know.
I literally just wrote rip to the dad, I guess. Because
like
yeah,
that's
they
never
never bring
mentioned.
him up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
never.
never mentioned.
It's just
I
a
mean, it's just what.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
it could have been like more. They could have done something deeper and
yeah,
with that. And I understand that. I think I'm asking too much of a Disney sequel that's just like an hour long and supposed to just entertain you
maybe
and
if they had had more time.
maybe and more budget and
Enough
Yeah,
David and Plickly
yeah.
shenanigans.
That I think that's
maybe
like
if
the
they got
major
rid of that
flaw.
stuff that I didn't care about, like
Yeah, nobody cared
I
about
cringed.
that.
I just cringed so hard every time Plickly came out with a new outfit. I'm like, okay, Plickly, I love you and I relate to you, but please don't do this to yourself just because you feel.
And then
And
not even Prickly care because he goes to her. They have this family fun night where they're watching the Giant and movie again, uh, which showed up in the first film. And he goes to, your relationship is like fizzling out. And he's like, no, she's just busy. And he's like, maybe she's tired of you. And then he never speaks of it again until John Bett's like, hey, go distract David.
yeah,
And Prickly, I think Prickly had forgotten that David existed at that moment. And then
He just
he
went to
goes,
roast him.
yeah.
yeah. And then he roasts him, and David is like, okay, maybe I do need your help. And then they have that scene, and then Prickly just goes, okay, your relationship's doomed, and leaves. So like, not even Prickly cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
I
it's
still
not
like
like
it.
yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, I really do think they had something also with Jumba, because Jumba was having this, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this is my fault and everything's gonna die and it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
like the saddest thing ever. Then Prickly goes to him. It's like they have this sort of tiny parallel between, I think maybe that was me being like, maybe I could have written this better. With Lilo and Stitch, where Stitch is going through this problem, but because they're kids, well, Lilo is a kid, she doesn't know how to deal with it, so they like continue to get mad at each other. But with Prickly and Jumba, Jumba is like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. Prickly just reassures him and it's like, I think you're the only one who can save him. And so it's nice. And if only they had focused on the Stitch
only.
thing.
Yeah.
It's the only, yeah, because it's the thing they actually thought about until before the end, obviously. And it ties in Jumba and Prickly and Lilo and Nanny and his mom and her mom, I'm sorry, and Stitch. So it's like if they had had a little bit more time and just focused on that like plot line, everything would have fallen into place. And
Yeah,
the
it would have
thing,
been way more solid.
yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why. I think they tried to cover too much, and they just were like, we don't know what to do with this anymore. We don't have any more time, so let's just wrap it up any way we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any more thoughts?
Not for me, no.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you guys said, especially about the mom thing. Like,
I
even in my
agree.
notes I have here is like, while that last line is sweet, why would her mom be proud? She never did the end hula. Was it sticking with her friend? Because that issue was never established. Dot 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 dot.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I
Because
was
if
like,
the scene if the
like you
scene
need a
before that
backup.
yeah, you too. But if the scene before that where they had the conversation of mom will be proud of you no matter what, they
Yeah.
had spoken about like maybe mom won this, but that wasn't like the most important thing that happened in her life. Maybe being with you was.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have bought the whole mom will be proud of you even though you didn't win the contest you've been working for this entire movie, and that's about her and your
Yeah.
memory with her and feeling closer to her. Then maybe I would have bought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Because
confusing.
they don't even. I don't think they even like mention who wins the festival, or
You come
they.
back and everyone's gone.
Yeah, she didn't even
Yeah.
dance in the festival.
Yeah, she just danced like for herself and like her
Yeah, which is
family,
good.
and
Which is
then they
good.
just don't claim a winner, and you're just. I guess I just assume that she won, but we don't really get confirmations from the movie, so we
I
don't
don't think
really know
she
what happened to that.
won.
So like the biggest plot in the movie, which was Lilo trying so hard to get the hula done, was not even finished.
Yep. Yep.
It wasn't.
There
No.
was not enough time. It was an hour and 8 minutes. I looked. I was like, how long do I have to spend on this?
It was
It
like
was an
I
hour and
I
eight
wish that
minutes.
was more like an hour, like on the spot, on the like exactly 1 hour, because the rest of it is just credits.
That's
So
true.
like
That's a
I
good
the
think it was
actual
like
movie is like basically just an hour.
I think
Mhm.
it's just 1 hour, like 3 minutes, because the credits were 5 minutes. I checked because I was like, how long is this song?
Oh my.
Because I was having trouble watching this film because, like I said, I thought I had it and then I didn't have it. And then I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, so I'm going to rent it on YouTube. And it was only in Spanish. And I was like, okay, yeah, that would be great. But I need it in English for this podcast I'm doing.
Mhm.
And then it was nowhere else. I checked Prime Video, I checked HBO, I checked Netflix, I checked, whatever. I checked like Cinepolis Click.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, I checked everywhere and I checked iTunes and it was like, we're gonna sell it to you for 150 pesos. And I was like, I
Wow.
already own that movie. I'm not gonna buy it. So
Yeah.
I went through a lot of hoops until I found it. And then I had to watch it on my phone because reasons. And it was like
Oh
just
no.
loading the first 3 minutes and then stopping and then coming back for the first 3 minutes.
Oh no.
Mhm.
So I failed the entirety of those 1 hour, 3 minutes that they
And
were.
we
So yeah,
appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah.
braver than any U.S. Marine.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I also wanted to bring back the John Mulaney thing because I just looked at my notes and wrote Stitch, like saying, I'm small, I have no money. You can imagine the kind of
You're
stress I'm
stressed
under.
about
And that should be the
Oh
tagline of this
my
movie.
god. It should. It should.
It should.
So yeah, those are like my final thoughts. I think I've been checking my notes to see if I have anything else to say. I have a lot of things to say. It's 4 pages of notes, but they're all just memes. So
I'm just
Oh
going
my
to
god.
say.
Please do send those to us because I loved your last set of memes for the
Oh my
Stitch
God.
movie.
We
Um,
had a complete lack of well, not lack, but it was a shortage of memes in this episode, and that's why it's like an hour shorter.
I tried
Yeah.
to like dial it down. I was like, I have to be serious. I have to take these things seriously.
No,
I
it's
think we
And then
passed
fine.
that line.
yeah, and that's why like every 2 notes I just wrote, baby, it must be protected.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
Oh
do
my
wanna
god.
like Tiny mentioned the Prickly and Jumba dynamic.
Uh huh.
They're married.
Prickly,
Yeah.
yeah, they're married. Prickly talks to his mom, and his
Oh
mom
yeah.
asks about like he's like Jumba's busy, mom, and then and then Jumba takes the phone and he's like, yes, Mother Prickly, I'm fine, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, they're so
Mom.
married.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Jumbo
so
and
cute.
Prickly's the best relationship ever. First
Yeah, and then
Disney gay couple.
oh my god, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
iconic. And then when he's talking to David, Prickly says something like, is my relationship dying? And I was like, oh my god, your relationship is not dying. Your relationship is thriving in this dumb movie.
It's flourishing.
So yeah,
Oh
that's also part of my notes.
my god.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we have nothing else to add, let's just move on to if we think this is an upgrade or a downgrade from the last movie. So, Tammy.
Okay, so before it was downgrade, but I think this is the first time in like since we've been doing this where I actually changed my mind as we talked about it.
Wow.
Because I feel like this whole episode was just so wholesome. I felt like we just like we're like they tried, and that's
Aw.
okay. I feel like that was just basically the whole thing, and it's great. So I do think it was an upgrade for reasons for like
Aw.
more like expanding on Jumbo and Pleakley's relationship. Like love that. Thanks for that little side note, and then also like showing how Stitch and like Lilo are like they've become more of a family, you know, like Anna, I think it was Anna, like she said that it did focus on
Yep.
them just trusting each other, getting to that trust, and now we can see like the crazy like freaking bitches they are together.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like it did a lot to expand on what was already the foundation of the Lilo and Stitch universe, and they just built off of it, and a lot of it is really great. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. A lot of it is great. Like David and Nani, Lilo and Stitch, Jumbo and Pleakley, and just all of them together. And Myrtle's beatdown is like the best addition to Disney canon.
I think it's my favorite Lilo and Stitch scene ever. That's it.
Including like the original film though too.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah.
It's the best. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's very
upgrade.
funny.
Just for
Okay.
that. Just for that.
Great. Andy.
Um, I will like my thoughts have been all over the place with this movie, or just like have been
Just like
meh.
this movie.
Yeah. But I will also say, I mean, it's not better than the original by any means, but I will say that it's a downgrade to Lilo and Stitch because I think the Lilo and Stitch as a franchise is one of the most developed from Disney. Because actually, all of if you put it chronologically, like this was before the series, and then Leroy and Stitch was after the series, it actually has a nice chronology that actually has
Makes
character
sense.
development.
Okay.
Makes sense. And they tried to expand on Lilo's psyche and all of her troubles and all that stuff about her family and her past and her relationships with Nanny and with Stitch. So I will say that it is an upgrade because it's just I don't see that I don't think that we've seen that a lot with other Disney properties this way.
Okay. Okay. So, Anna.
Sorry. Like Andy said, I don't think it's better than the original, but I do think it's an upgrade from the last Stitch movie because
Okay.
it feels more cohesive. It feels more like cared for. I think because I
Definitely.
think we agreed that the last one was just like something they threw together like the night before. They
Yeah.
had to start like production or something. But this one does feel more loved and cohesive, and yeah, I think it's nice seeing them be more a family than I think we even get in the TV show, because like obviously the TV show is centered around Lilo and Stitch trying to find the experiments. It is usually the B plot that's about where the experiment's gonna end up, so we don't get a lot of the family like mushiness this movie has. So I do think it's like an upgrade from that.
Okay. So for me I think I don't know. I think it is an upgrade, but not by a lot. I think because they do try to expand on the relationship between Lilo and Stitch and how that dynamic works after because after the first movie we just settled that okay, he's gonna live with them now, but what does that look like? And they do a great job of showing that, like they're living in the same room and they do these activities together, and this is how they treat each other, like they're friends, but they fight sometimes, but they always make up because they care for each other, and apparently their friendship is so strong that it can bring them back from the dead. So I do think it's an upgrade on that aspect, that they do expand on what the relationship looks like after the dust has settled from the first movie, and I like seeing that. I like having a look of at what they do in their daily lives. I think it's very interesting. And Nani's still a badass, and Plicky and Jumbo are still married, and they're cute. And they at least try to have some kind of heart with the mom thing. I don't think it's fully developed, but at least they tried. So of course, as we have been saying in the episode, this movie was done with a lot of care, but not with a
Not
lot of
enough.
thought, I guess.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so I think it's an upgrade, but just by a little, just for that, just for
Okay.
the little effort that they made. Okay, so let's move on to our grades. Tammy.
Okay. Wait, first, let me just say, I feel like their tagline should have been "We tried." Okay, now to my grade. Now to my
There was
grade.
an attempt.
There was an
Yeah.
Okay, to my grade. Okay, Stitch has a glitch. Doesn't have as many glitches as I thought it did.
Oh, okay. That was
Okay.
more positive than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna.
Uh, I'm thinking of something clever to say, but I have no brain cells. Um, uh, can I just like my review can just be like like not enough cute outfits on Stitch.
Okay, that's good
No.
enough. That's good enough. And it's fair. Andy.
Um, my grade for this movie is that the good and evil levels of this movie are all over the place.
Oh,
It's like a
Wow.
zebra.
Okay, that was convoluted, but it was nice. It made
that's
sense.
adorable.
Convoluted.
Thank you. Thank you, Tami. Thank you, Gina.
Okay, so I have mine. I don't know if it's gonna land because I don't think we mentioned the song a lot, but there's a song that's the dance that Lilo does for the myth, and it goes, I love you always." So for me, my grade to this movie is I'll tolerate you always. And that's it.
Oh my god, that's so iconic.
That's
Fair.
adorable.
Thank you. I worked so hard on it.
I love it. I love it.
Great.
It's really
Okay.
clever.
Thank you. I appreciate that you appreciated that. Thank you. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of the episode. How do you guys feel?
I feel strangely okay with this movie.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Honestly,
Guys.
if you would have told me that the longest episode of these two sequels that we've covered was actually Stitch the movie and not Stitch as a glitch, I would have been like, nah, because honestly, I thought that the Stitch movie had little material to work on, and I thought this movie was gonna have some more things, but it ended up being the whole other way around, and I would have not expected that. And it just goes to show that you really don't remember the movies that you watched as a kid until you watch them again as adults.
For a
Yeah.
podcast, yeah. And you
For a
have to take
podcast.
notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
Made
for
out of
your specific quote.
Yeah.
Until you have to take notes for a
For a
podcast.
podcast.
That is the millennial mood. I
Yeah.
just realized that my notes were worthless because I didn't mention my favorite scene.
Oh, what was it?
After Tammy's favorite scene, actually, with the whole chicken thing,
Uh-huh.
it starts raining and they lose the map, and Stitch just starts crying and pounding on the floor until Lilo has to come back and drag him by the ankle.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
then into the next scene, she's still dragging him by the ankle.
Oh my
And I
god.
just wrote, my two last brain cells trying to get me to work.
That's
And
just
that's
me.
why,
That's me as at this point of the semester.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that was
Fucking
my favorite scene just because of that. And I actually have a
okay.
sticker that's just him crying in that scene. And
Oh,
I can't
that's
believe
great.
I didn't mention it in this entirety of this entire episode.
It's okay. You found the way to put it in, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
exactly what the people that made this movie felt like. You find a way to put it in, and that's what matters.
you're so right. I couldn't have
That's
put
what
it
she
better.
said.
Oh
Well,
my god, I
Okay.
hate you so much.
And on that
Also,
note,
I love your sexting.
oh my god. On that note, we're gonna we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you, Anna, for being back for this episode. As always, it's just a lot of fun listening to you, and I'll have you
Thanks.
in all the episodes for good.
I
And
mean,
Surprise.
please
hire
do
me.
send us that meme, that the memes in your notes, because they're always great and I always laugh a lot. So please do. And yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for listening. If you want to get in contact with us, remember that you can send us an email at televisionpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at televisionpod on Twitter. We're always open to messages, questions, suggestions, reviews, anything that you want to send our way about the podcast, the movies that we've reviewed, the movies that we will talk about in the future. So please do send us your emails and your tweets. And remember that you can also review us on iTunes or Apple Podcast, and that helps a lot of other people find the podcast. So please do. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Andy and Tammy, for being here. As always, you're the best.
Hey.
And that's it. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. We will continue with Stitchapalooza. Goodbye.
Whoop, whoop.
Bye.
Bye.
When Stitch is losing control at the hula school, and then I don't even think you see the hula teacher, but you hear his voice, and he goes, "Lilo, please take control of your dog."
Yes.
If my
Noticed.
dog did that, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'd do. I'd take it to bed or something.
I was worried I was in The Sims because they do that in The Sims. They start glowing out of nowhere.
Oh my god.
And you have to take them to the bed.